Eevee. Depending on which Pokemon game you're playing, you can potentially evolve your Eevee into one of 8 of its evolutions, each one being a different type, meaning that every time I have an Eevee, I never know who to evolve it into. Oi tough trainers, Lance here.
Oi tough trainers, my name's Osamitsu and today I'm really excited to be joining Lance today. I'm really honoured, thank you so much for having me. Today we're going to be counting down our 5 favourite evolutions.
At number 5 today, we have got the evolution thought to be based off the Arctic fox, Glaceon. Doesn't Glaceon have such an amazing looking design? I mean, its colour scheme being the same beautiful blue colour as the sky, its face looking very cute and cuddly outside of battle, but very fierce and intimidating when you're up against an opponent. I also think Glaceon has a really cool evolution method, only being able to evolve if you level it up while it's right near one of those rocks covered in ice. It's such a unique way to evolve it. And Glaceon also has pretty good physical defense and special defense, which is pretty rare because most Pokemon either have good physical defense and crap special defense, or good special defense and crap physical defense, but it's pretty cool that Glaceon's pretty good in both those areas. Glaceon might not have the best move pool, but it's still pretty good in PU, and with moves such as Ice Beam, Water Pulse, Shadow Ball, Barrier, and Mirror Coat, it can do some amazing stuff. But the main reason it's here is just because of its amazing, beautiful looking design.
Coming in at number 4 is one of my absolute favourite evolutions, Umbreon. When you look at Umbreon's stats, they are freaking incredible. With a physical defense stat of 110 and 130 special defense stat, Umbreon can really pack a punch and he can survive a few turns. What I also like about the Dark type, especially with Umbreon, is that they have that immunity to Psychic because they were introduced in Generation 2. He just represents the Dark type perfectly. I love his colour scheme. He has 2 of my favourite colours, black and yellow. I really like the sleek design. I like the yellow circles, the whole black sort of colour scheme, and I kind of like that he has red eyes. You can tell it looks kind of menacing and quite evil. What I also like about Umbreon is that he has really good abilities. For example, Inner Focus. Inner Focus is an amazing ability that prevents you from flinching. And for all you competitive battlers, I know how annoying you find it when someone uses Air Slash, when they have Serene Grace ability. It's really annoying to just flinch every single turn. So the fact that Umbreon has access to Inner Focus is a really defensive, very tanky ability to have. Furthermore, Umbreon has access to moves like Moonlight and Wish for recovery. They just fit into his niche perfectly. If you have an Umbreon on your team, the conventional Umbreon is a toxic staller, is a defensive tank that can take a few hits. I've gotten really attached to Umbreon as a Pokemon because I always have one to beat the Elite Four. And in my version of Omega Ruby, I actually have an Umbreon. And my proudest achievement is when my Umbreon single-handedly took down and swept an entire legendary team. And for me, that is freaking amazing!
At number 3 today, we have got Jolteon. Now, unlike Umbreon, Jolteon has got very good special attack and very good speed, but crap physical defense. In fact, Jolteon is currently the fastest Pokemon currently in RU, besides the Excelgor, and with moves such as the Thunderbolt, Volt Switch and Signal Beam, on top of the Hidden Power Ice, helping it cover its one and only weakness, it's pretty good to use in competitive battling. Jolteon is also a Pokemon I've used a lot in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, since it's one of the few electric types you can play through the game with, along with Zapdos, Ampharos and Electivire. But one of the main reasons I quite like Jolteon is because I received a Jolteon in the first ever pack of Pokemon cards I ever bought. I also found out while researching Jolteon for this video that it has a really cool Pokedex entry for Pokemon Y, reading it accumulates negative ions in the atmosphere to blast out 10,000 volt lightning bolts. Whew! Jolteon might not be the coolest looking of all the evolutions, but it's probably the evolution I use the most in competitive battling.
At number 2, we have the fairy type mascot, Sylveon. It was no surprise I was going to include Sylveon in the list. I love my fair share of fairy types, I love every single fairy type, and Sylveon is definitely one of them. In Generation 6, with the introduction of Fairy, Sylveon was one of the first fairy type Pokemon to be announced, and unsurprisingly it's become the fairy type mascot. And in my own personal opinion, I feel Sylveon represents the fairy type perfectly. I love its colour scheme. I like that it has the pink and white colour scheme with the big blue eyes. Arguably a lot of people say that it sticks out like a sore thumb because it doesn't look like the other evolutions. But I kind of like that because at one point I felt like the evolutions were getting kind of repetitive, kind of boring. It was kind of just like an added gimmick. So it's kind of nice that Game Freak are kind of switching up a little bit. One of my favourite gym leaders, Valerie, owns a Sylveon, and the way she uses it in the anime, I was mesmerised by it. What I also like about Sylveon is its hidden ability, Pixelate. For those of you not aware, Pixelate, what it does, it turns any normal type move into a fairy type move, and only 3 Pokemon, all of which are fairy types, possess the Pixelate ability. Additionally to this, it has that 30% boost in its attack, which is freaking amazing. Sylveon plus Hyper Voice equals GG. Not only this, I really like the way Eevee evolves into Sylveon. It's not max friendship, it's not max happiness, it doesn't need a stone. Those evolutions are kind of getting again quite repetitive, quite boring. Sylveon evolves by loving you with max affection. That's amazing. Not only this, it does have to learn a fairy type move, so they had to mix it up a little bit. So for those of you saying that Game Freak are running out of ideas, you've got to admit they are trying, and Sylveon represents that perfectly, and that's the main reason why I put it at number 2 in this list.
At number 1 today, we have got Vaporeon. Now Vaporeon does have a pretty cool looking design, maybe not the best of all the evolutions, but I do think it has one of the coolest looking shiny forms out of all of the evolutions. And Vaporeon is also pretty good in competitive battling, with great HP, special attack and special defense. And it also has pretty good moves such as the Scald, Ice Beam, Heal Bell, Wish, Protect and even Toxic. But the main reason I really like Vaporeon so much is because it's the first ever evolution I ever evolved my Eevee into. I remember receiving an Eevee in Diamond and Pearl after beating Cynthia and seeing, hold on one second, this Water Stone is going to evolve my Eevee. Let's see what happens. So I gave my Water Stone to Eevee and saw an awesome looking Vaporeon in my team, a completely different type to Eevee, and I remember thinking this is pretty cool. And after that, playing through the aftergame of Diamond and Pearl with a powerful Vaporeon was just a great experience. It also does have some pretty cool sounding Pokédex entries, one of my favorites being its cell structure is similar to water molecules. It will melt away and become invisible in water. Invisible in water? How cool does that sound? Hey, now before you click off this video, I highly suggest you consider clicking the video on the left to watch Ozymitsu and I count down the top 5 types we would like to see get evolutions, or if you really want to, you can click the video on the right to watch me count down my top 5 favorite Pokemon spin-off games. But seriously, the video on the left is better. But thanks for watching this video here today. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, it's very much appreciated and it means a lot. Thank you to Ray for suggesting this topic for us, it's very much appreciated. If there's a topic you'd like to see a countdown on, let us know what it is in the comment section. And until next time, this has been Lance with Lance Countdowns, and stay tough. Why are you still here? Go check out that video I was featured in on Ozymitsu's channel. But I just came from that video. Stop with the excuses, man.